You see the trophies, the titles, the GOAT energy. But nobody talks about what it took to stay serene. When she played calm, they said she lacked fire. When she dominated, they said she had too much. It was a constant battle, not just against her opponent on the court, but against a narrative she never asked for. One minute she was too emotional, the next she was too cold. Imagine being judged for the very thing that makes you a champion, your passion. And then there was the physical toll. Remember that match in 2003, the semifinals? She was dealing with a severe quad strain. The pain was so intense, you could see it etched on her face with every single shot. But did she quit? No. She gritted her teeth, dug deeper than she ever had before, and somehow pulled out a win. This wasn't just about tennis anymore. It was about pure, unadulterated willpower. Most athletes would have withdrawn, and no one would have blamed them. But she wasn't most athletes, she was Serena. Then came the biggest fight of her life, and it had nothing to do with a tennis racket. After giving birth to her daughter Olympia, she suffered a pulmonary embolism. We're talking about blood clots in her lungs, a life-threatening condition. The doctors weren't listening at first. She had to use her own medical knowledge from a previous health scare to literally advocate for her own life, demanding the CT scan and the heparin drip that ultimately saved her. She had just brought a new life into the world and had to fight tooth and nail just to stay alive to see her grow up. Her comeback after that was nothing short of miraculous. To return to the highest level of professional tennis after such a traumatic medical event is almost unheard of. She wasn't just regaining her physical strength, she was battling postpartum emotions, the demands of being a new mother, and the constant scrutiny of the public eye. Every time she stepped on that court, she was carrying the weight of her own expectations and the hopes of millions who saw her as a symbol of strength and resilience. She was a mother, a survivor, and still, one of the fiercest competitors the world had ever seen. From the courts of Compton to the world stage, her journey was never just about hitting a ball, it was about breaking barriers. She and Venus faced a world that wasn't always ready for them. They were two black sisters who came in and completely changed the game, not just with their power and skill, but with their style, their confidence, and their unapologetic presence. They endured coded language, unfair criticism, and immense pressure, but they never backed down. They proved that greatness isn't defined by your background, but by your heart and your fight. Serena didn't just win matches. She opened doors for generations to come. That's the real victory. So, when you think of Serena Williams, remember the trophies, yes, but also remember the quad strain, the fight for her life in the hospital, the comeback, and the quiet resilience against a world of critics. That's the untold story. That's what makes her not just a champion, but a true legend. Thanks for watching. If Serena's story inspires you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories behind the legends. Hey everyone, and welcome back to our series on the one and only Serena Williams. In part 1, we saw the rise of a champion, the trophies, the glory, the icon. But what about the battles fought when the cameras weren't rolling? That's what we're diving into today, the untold struggles behind the court. While the world saw the grand slams and the victory speeches, they didn't always see the relentless grind. Imagine this, while most of us are hitting the snooze button, Serena is already on the court, the sun barely up, perfecting her serve. While we're grabbing a warm coffee, she's plunging into an ice bath, pushing her body to its absolute limits day in and day out. Even during moments of rest, when everyone else might be napping, she's there, stretching, maintaining, always preparing for the next challenge. This wasn't just about playing tennis, it was about living it, breathing it, every single second. But the physical struggle was only half the story. Serena fought a constant battle against expectations and criticism. Think about it. For every powerful serve, there was a comment about her strength being too much. For every passionate roar on the court, there were whispers about her being too emotional. She was constantly navigating a landscape of double standards that other athletes rarely faced. It was as if her incredible talent was always on trial, with the world's respect perpetually under review. This constant scrutiny would break most people, and it almost did. There were times when the pressure became suffocating. The injuries, the public criticism, the immense weight of being a role model, it all piled up. Serena has been open about her struggles with mental health, including postpartum emotions after the birth of her daughter, a battle that is so real for so many new mothers. She showed us that even the strongest among us are vulnerable, that it's okay not to be okay. Her courage wasn't just in facing a 120-mile-per-hour serve, but in facing her own inner demons and speaking her truth. But here's the most incredible part of Serena's story. She never let the struggles define her. Instead, she used them as fuel. Every doubt became a reason to train harder. Every criticism became a motivation to win louder. She transformed the pressure into power. She didn't just come back from injuries, she came back and won more titles. She didn't just ignore the noise. She used her platform to speak out against injustice and inequality, becoming a powerful voice for women and athletes of color everywhere. She redefined what it means to be a champion, not just by winning, but by overcoming. So, when we look back at Serena Williams' career, let's remember more than just the trophies. Let's remember the ice baths at dawn, the quiet moments of doubt, and the fierce spirit that refused to be broken. She taught us that true strength isn't about never falling. It's about how you get back up, stronger and more determined than before. Her legacy isn't just written in the record books, it's etched in the hearts of everyone she inspired to fight their own battles both on and off the court. Thanks so much for watching. If Serena's story of resilience inspires you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Drop a comment below and let me know what you admire most about her journey. See you in the next one. They doubted her strength, her emotions, her place at the top. But true champions are defined not by their falls, but by how they rise. For Serena, the comeback trail was more than just reclaiming titles, it was about reclaiming herself. Picture this. The world is watching, whispering, wondering if the queen of the court has lost her fire. Every match felt like a final, every swing carried the weight of expectation. Critics pointed to her age, her injuries, her new role as a mother, framing them as weaknesses. But Serena saw them as fuel. She stepped onto the court not just as a player, but as a symbol of resilience. Her power wasn't just in her serve, it was in her unwavering belief in herself. Even when others' belief faltered, she trained harder than ever. The early mornings, the grueling physio sessions, the mental gymnastics to block out the noise. It was a battle fought far from the roar of the crowd. This wasn't just about tennis, it was about showing every person who has ever been counted out that the fight isn't over until you say it is. She was rewriting the narrative, not with words, but with every powerful forehand and every victorious roar. She proved that motherhood doesn't diminish a woman's ambition, it amplifies it. Her return to the Grand Slam finals was a seismic event. Wimbledon, the US Open, she was back where she belonged. While she didn't always clinch the final trophy in that period, her presence alone was a triumph. Each match was a masterclass in grit. She was playing against opponents half her age, and she was still the one setting the pace, still the one everyone feared. It was a testament to her legendary work ethic and her champion's heart. This chapter of Serena's career wasn't just about adding more trophies to her cabinet. It was about legacy. It was about inspiring a new generation of athletes, especially mothers, to chase their dreams relentlessly. She showed that you can be fierce and vulnerable, a mother and a champion, a business titan and an athlete. She wasn't just playing for herself anymore. She was playing for every woman who's ever had to balance her passions with her responsibilities. For every girl who was told her dreams were too big. Serena's comeback was a powerful message. Your story isn't written by your setbacks. It's written in the sweat, the tears, and the courage it takes to get back up and swing for the fences, again and again. She didn't just return to the game, she changed it forever. Thanks for watching. If Serena's story inspires you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of legendary greatness. See you next time. Ever wondered what 23 Grand Slam singles titles really mean? For Serena Williams, it wasn't just about the number. Each trophy, each victory, was a statement. She didn't just play tennis, she redefined it. Growing up, the world of tennis had a very specific look, a certain mold for its champions. Then came Serena and her sister Venus. They didn't fit that mold, they shattered it. With every powerful serve, every thunderous forehand, they showed the world that talent doesn't have a dress code or a skin color. Think about the pressure. From the moment she stepped onto the professional court as a teenager, the expectations were astronomical. Pundits, critics, even other players, they all had something to say. She's too powerful, she's too emotional, she's too much. For years, she faced a level of scrutiny that many of her peers never had to endure. Her body was policed, her passion was criticized, and her confidence was often labeled as arrogance. But Serena's greatest weapon wasn't just her serve, it was her unshakable belief in herself. She turned every doubt into fuel. She didn't just win matches, she changed what greatness looks like. Serena proved that you can be strong, fierce, and unapologetically ambitious and still be the greatest of all time. She taught an entire generation of athletes, especially young women of color, that they didn't have to shrink themselves to fit in. They could be powerful, they could be confident, and they could dominate. She made playing like a girl mean being the best in the world. Her influence extends far beyond the baseline. She became a fashion icon, a savvy businesswoman, and a powerful voice for equality in sports and beyond. She fought for equal pay, spoke out against injustice, and championed mothers in the workplace after giving birth to her daughter Olympia. Her comeback after a life-threatening childbirth experience was one of the most inspiring stories in all of sports. It was a testament to her incredible resilience. She wasn't just playing for another title. She was playing for every mother who's ever been told she couldn't have it all. She was showing the world that a woman's career doesn't end when she becomes a mother. In many ways, it can be the start of a new, more powerful chapter. Strong isn't a flaw, confidence isn't attitude, and legends don't ask for permission. Serena never did. She took what was hers and, in doing so, opened the door for countless others to follow. The Williams sisters' journey from the public courts of Compton to the royal box at Wimbledon is more than a sports story. It's an American dream. It's a story of family, sacrifice, and relentless dedication. Their father, Richard Williams, had a vision and a plan, and his daughters executed it with a brilliance that left the world in awe. Serena's legacy isn't just in the record books or the trophy cabinets. It's in the echo of her powerful grunt on every tennis court in the world. It rests in every little girl who picks up a racket because she saw someone who looked like her achieve the impossible. Serena Williams didn't just change the game. she changed the world. Her story proves that with enough fight, enough heart, and enough belief, you can overcome any obstacle and build a legacy that will inspire generations to come. Thanks for watching. If you were inspired by Serena's story, hit that like button and subscribe for more. When you think of Serena Williams, what comes to mind? Power, dominance, 23 Grand Slam singles titles. For over 2 decades, she wasn't just a tennis player. She was a force of nature, a cultural icon who shattered every ceiling she encountered. We saw the trophies, the iconic outfits, the fierce determination on the court. But what we didn't always see were the monumental battles she fought when the cameras were off. The struggles that would have broken most people, but only made her stronger. This isn't just a story about a tennis champion. It's a story about resilience, about fighting for your life, and about changing the world by simply refusing to back down. Let's go back to 2011. Serena was at the peak of her career, but a mysterious illness began to take hold. She was having trouble breathing. What seemed like a minor issue turned into a life-threatening emergency, a pulmonary embolism. Blood clots had traveled from her leg to her lungs. Doctors told her the situation was critical. She underwent emergency surgery and was bedridden for weeks. The physical recovery was grueling, but the mental toll was even heavier. The world watched, wondering if she would ever play again. Many wrote her off, saying her career was over. But they underestimated Serena Williams. She didn't just return, she stormed back, winning Wimbledon, the US Open, and an Olympic gold medal the very next year. It was one of the greatest comebacks in sports history, fueled by a will to win that defied medical odds. Fast forward to 2017. Serena achieved the impossible. She won the Australian Open while 8 weeks pregnant. It was a superhuman feat that left the world in awe. But the joy of her victory in pregnancy was soon overshadowed by another life-or-death crisis. After giving birth to her daughter Olympia via an emergency C-section, Serena felt that familiar shortness of breath. She knew her body, she knew the signs of a pulmonary embolism. She immediately told the nurses she needed a CT scan and a heparin drip. At first they dismissed her concerns, suggesting the pain medication might be making her confused. Serena had to insist, to advocate for herself relentlessly. And she was right. The scan revealed several small blood clots in her lungs. Her self-advocacy saved her own life. This terrifying experience transformed her. Serena became a powerful voice for Black maternal health, highlighting the stark reality that Black women in the United States are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. She spoke openly about her ordeal, about being ignored by medical staff, and about the systemic issues that put so many mothers at risk. She used her massive platform not just to celebrate her comeback, but to fight for those who didn't have her voice. She turned her personal trauma into a global call to action, demanding better care and for women, especially women of color, to be heard and believed. Serena's struggles weren't limited to health crises. From the very beginning of her career, she and her sister Venus faced a storm of criticism and prejudice. They were 2 Black girls from Compton, breaking into a predominantly white, privileged sport. Commentators criticized their powerful style of play, their beaded hair, their muscular physiques. They were constantly held to a different standard. They were called intimidating. Their passion was mislabeled as anger, and their confidence was seen as arrogance. At the 2001 Indian Wells tournament, 19-year-old Serena was met with a chorus of boos from the crowd, a painful experience rooted in unfounded accusations against her family. The hostility was so intense that she boycotted the tournament for 14 years. Yet through it all, she never compromised who she was. She embraced her power, her fashion, her identity. She showed an entire generation of girls that you do want to have to fit into a mold to be a champion. You can be strong, fierce, and unapologetically yourself. She redefined what a female athlete could be, proving that strength is beautiful and that success is the best answer to any critic. Her legacy isn't just in the record books, it's in the countless players she inspired and the cultural barriers she demolished. Serena didn't just play the game, she changed it forever. So, when we look back at her incredible career, let's remember more than just the victories. Let's remember the woman who stared death in the face, twice, and returned to dominate her sport. The mother who fought for her life and then used her voice to save others. The trailblazer who endured years of scrutiny to pave the way for a more inclusive future. Serena Williams taught us that true strength isn't just about how hard you can hit a tennis ball. It's about how you get back up when you're knocked down, how you fight for what's right, and how you use your power to lift others up. That is the untold story of the greatest of all time.